I am successful. I look for and find opportunities where others see nothing. I am a lifetime learner. I am solution focused. I see only solutions. I am a solution. Let me formally welcome you to the Be Transformed Tribe. I'm the catalyst. My name is Lanre Olusola. And this is your dual go-to space for very practical, very spirit and mind transforming conversations that empower and equip you to overcome all of life's challenges and to become all that you were created to be. And today we're talking about why most New Year resolutions fail by February, why most goals never stick. And, people just get on with it, get into the New Year resolution flow, and they just start running. Why? Why do people do that? If this is your own case, right, then it's important that you listen or you get someone that you know to listen. If also, year in, year out, you started setting goals or you've made resolutions and you don't achieve all of your goals year in, year out, then you want to listen to this conversation or you want to get somebody that you know to listen to this conversation. The truth of the matter is every January, billions of people make bold declarations that they call resolution. Some even go ahead and call them goals. Some make wishes and some make prayers. They start the year feeling motivated. Why? Because that's the euphoria. That's it now. You are ending the year. And that's how we started this conversation, right? How was December for you? What did you do in December? Everybody's feeling jolly. Everybody's excited that the year before has ended. When you start a race, right? You are always looking for when the race will end. That when the race starts, you're excited, you're motivated, you're driven, then you expend a lot of energy in the course of running that race. And then you burn out, and then you cannot wait for the race to end. And so when you now unwind and you've rested, then you're ready to get started again. So many people go through that cycle over and over and over again. And the momentum kicks off in January, but by February, by March, life takes over. Oh, yes, by the middle of the year, many are quietly back to where they started from. And this is really not even a motivational problem. This is not even a discipline problem. This is a life design problem. This is a social construct. This is a program that we're running. And so it is very, very important for us to realize that we cannot allow the social energy to carry us. We cannot allow ourselves to join the bandwagon or being carried by the bandwagon. Many of us, right, are social animals. We're environmental creatures, and it is the wave that carries us. Most people that set goals year in, year out, they do it simply because that is what everybody does. And that is why most people get onto the bandwagon. It's more psychological, it's more sociological, it's more behavioral. It is what we have done over and over and over again. It is our culture. And so, what else do you expect people to do but to continue to do what they have always done, the way they have always done it? Human beings always look for the path of least resistance. That is, they stay in their comfort zone. Human beings always repeat habits, and setting resolutions every year has become the habit for many people. All right, if your goals collapse by February, and I'm speaking to somebody right here, right now, listen to me. If your goals consistently collapse by February every year, it is not because you lack discipline, it's because your goals were never designed to survive in real life. So listen to me. It's not your problem, right? It is not a discipline problem. It's not even a motivational problem. It's the fact that you're designing wrong. That's right. Motivation is one of the most overrated tools in personal growth. And that's why most people don't stay consistent. Don't depend only on motivation. I'm speaking to somebody else right there, out there. The real reason why your goals don't stick is simple. You are pursuing the future that your current identity cannot sustain. So your current self and your future self, they are disconnected. You need to create alignment between your present self and your future self. So let us break it down. First of all, why do most New Year resolutions fail by February? Second is, what is a goal? What is a resolution? And what is the difference between both of them? And why do we need to know the difference, right? Good, good, good. Now, you see, motivation expires faster than reality changes. The rate at which your motivation expires is much rapid, is faster than your life experiences change. So your life experiences will wait out motivation and it will swallow it. January goals are often set in emotional highs when there's high hope, when you have just ended the previous year, so you are feeling some sense of relief, and then you are starting again with optimism. Then February introduces some level of fatigue. Then life introduces some resistance, and then the old patterns they kick in, and then the stresses of life they also are activated. And research have consistently shown that behavioral change wishes they collapse when goals are not anchored to your identity, when they are not designed by systems and sustained by systems, and where you lack emotional regulation. You should never set a goal that is not anchored in your current identity that aligns with your future identity, in systems that start, sustain, and run it to the end. And you should never, never, never strive to achieve anything without emotional stability, without emotional regulation, and without emotional intelligence. Most people overestimate willpower. They think that once I have willpower, I will run it to the end. Oh, yes. Willpower is always overestimated, and internal and environment conflicts is always underestimated. Yeah, a lot of people have willpower, but they do not consider the dynamic between their internal system and their external reality and the conflicts that creates in their life. So there's a tug of war between your psychology and your sociology. There's a tug of war between your spirituality and your reality. There's a tug of war between your thoughts and your reaction. So most men don't fail at goals because they are lazy. They fail because they were taught to suppress pressure instead of process it. So I have found out that most men fail more than women fail to achieve their goals year in, year out. Why? Because men have not learned to master their emotions, even to allow their emotions. And emotion is very critical to the achievement of goals. A resolution excites you, a goal with systems sustains you. Most people confuse the two of them. A resolution excites you, a goal sustains you. It is systemic, and many of us confuse the two. Now, discipline without emotional regulation is not strength. It will create strain in your life. And winning this year doesn't mean perfection. It means that you can recover fast, you can adjust smarter, and you can stay aligned under pressure. Now, there are many research that have said to us that many people abandon their resolutions. Let me share with you seven before I get into what a goal is, before I get into what a resolution is, before I get into the difference between a goal and a resolution. Let us sort out these facts, right? So that we know that what we're talking about is based on research. Now, a university of Scranton, right, did a research and realized that only 8% of people achieve their goals year in, year out. And most people abandon those goals within the first 6 to 8 weeks. A British journal of health psychology, said that, people fail fast when they set resolutions without systemic support. The American Psychological Association say that stress significantly reduces your self-control and causes people to abandon their goals under pressure. The Journal of Consumer Research, they say that people who rely on motivation instead of putting in place systems, they experience a sharp drop in their performance and productivity. The University College London says that habit takes 18 to 254 days to form, not 21 days. So some people give up within 21 days, right? Meanwhile, some people take 46 days, some people take 66 days, some people even take longer. Most people quit longer before the habit is consolidated. Behavioral Science and Policy Journal, they say that identity aligned goals are three times more likely to be sustained than goals that are driven by focus on outcomes. When your goals align with your current and your future identity, you are three times more likely to achieve and sustain that goal than any goal that is outcome driven. Many people, they set outcome driven goals, not identity alignment goals. And the last research is that Harvard Business Review says that goals without environmental consideration, internal consideration, and structural support, they fail even amongst high performers. And the pattern is clear. The problem is not laziness, it is misaligned design. That's right. Now, coming to what a goal is now, after giving all that data, right? A goal is defined, right, as an expected future outcome that you intend to achieve. So there are right goals and there are wrong goals. So when you say, I want to, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. I want to lose 10 kg. You want to enter into grief because loss subconsciously triggers the concept of grief. Your subconscious will sabotage that goal because we associate pain and trauma with loss. We associate grief with loss. So when you say I want to lose 10 kg, it is a wrong formation and narrative to send to your subconscious, who executes 95% of every instruction that you give. Once the subconscious receives an instruction that may sound like a trauma, pain, it will sabotage it. So what should you be saying instead? My weight goal is 60 kg from 70 kg, not that I want to lose. My weight goal is 60 kg from 70 kg. That is a more powerful and positive, more affirmative goal statement. Some people, when they want to make, they want to set financial goals, they say that I want to make more money this year. So let's say that you made 10 million last year. 10 million plus 1 naira is more money. What you say is, I want to earn 50 million this year from my digital product sales. So a lot of people do not even know what a goal is. They don't know how to frame a goal. They don't know how to create a goal statement. The way you frame the goal, the way you create the goal statement is very, very important. Now, a goal answers the question, what do I desire to accomplish? What specifically do I desire to accomplish? A goal alone does not tell you who you must become, how to sustain pressure, or how to manage setbacks. Now, a holistic goal must consider all of that. It must be a question that answers what you desire to accomplish. It must be a question that answers who you want to become. It must be a question that answers what will sustain the pressure. It will be a question that answers how you manage setbacks. Why? Because setbacks will always come. Pressure will always come. Your identity is what starts it. Your identity is what sustains it. Your identity is what finishes it. So most goals fail not in January, but the first time stress shows up and motivation is no longer available. Let me get you to understand that when stress shows up, motivation gets out of the way. Oh, yeah. So will and motivation cannot stand in the face of stress. If your goals depend on motivation, they are always unstable and it will be difficult for you to sustain them. You must put in place structures and systems. You cannot rely only on excitement. So, what is a resolution? A resolution is simply a decision. A resolution is a declaration. So, when I started today, I said that 2026 is your year of God's favor. That's a declaration. That's not a goal. And so a lot of people misplace resolutions as goals. A resolution is just a decision that you've made, right? Without putting the right systems, without considering the other support things that will ensure that that goal is a smart goal, it will be impossible for you to achieve it. A resolution is not a system, it is a statement of intent. I will wake up early. I will, eat less this year. I will be more disciplined. I will be more consistent in my reading the Bible. Resolutions are often emotionally driven. They are promises and wishes that you make to yourself, and oftentimes without a strategy. They rely heavily on emotions. They rely heavily on willpower, which is unreliable under stress. So, motivation can get you started, but systems will keep you going when life gets real. If you are waiting to feel motivated, you've already surrendered control of your progress. So, the real difference between a goal and a resolution, I'm going to share with you right now. Resolutions rely on willpower, goals require structure. If your plan has no system, that is a resolution. If your plan, right, has a system, then that is a goal. A resolution is a wish. A goal is a systemic process. A resolution is outcome focused. A goal is intention focused. A goal answers what? A resolution answers a decision. A goal has structure and needs structure. A resolution lacks structure. A goal can be measured. A resolution is often vague. A goal is sustained by systemic support. A resolution collapses without motivation, with and without motivation. In simple terms, a resolution excites you. A goal with systems sustains you. So behavior never outgrows identity. And that is why identity is so key in alignment with your goal. You don't rise to your goal, you fall back to who you believe you are. Yeah, so your identity is what drives every single thing that you are. Okay? Until your identity changes, your results will keep resetting and rebooting itself. So you've got to change internally for anything to change in your life. That's right. You've got to change internally for everything to change in your life. Everything about you is a function of your identity, is a function of your value system and your belief system. So your value system, your belief system are very, very key softwares that drive who you are and who you want to be. So a goal is just a way that you measure. There are parameters that you create, right? And that help you measure your journey towards who you want to be, or make you measure your journey away from who you were, or make you measure your journey of that transition between where you were and where you want to be, who you were and who you want to be, what you were and what you want to be. Honestly, everything borders around identity. Everything, everything borders around identity. If I take away your identity, I've taken away everything about you. So, little do we know that our goals are just a parameter or an index for us to measure where we are concerning who we are and what we are, concerning who we want to be and how far away we are from where and who we are to where and who we want to be. So, identity really is everything. And your identity oftentimes is driven by your core values and your belief system. And when there's no alignment between your core values and your belief system that reinforces your core identity, you will sabotage all those goals that you are setting. And that is the master key. That is the key, right? And you see, that is why we call it life design, because it is much more than goal setting, especially for us in Africa, especially for Africans and everyone of African descent. You see, you are more than just a goal. You are more than just an objective. You are more than just an outcome. That is just one teeny weeny small part of your life. You are much bigger. You are a spiritual entity. You are a soul entity. You are a physical entity. You are a social entity. You are more than a goal. And when we talk about your spiritual entity, when we talk about your soul entity, your physical entity, and your social construct, what are we talking about? We're talking about you. We're talking about your essence. We're talking about the essence of your existence, which is your identity, who you are, and what you are. And that is everything that you live for, and that is everything that you protect. That is everything that you defend. There's a picture that you have of your life, right? And how your life will evolve as a function of who you are and your identity. The Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, right? And a good name is better than silver and gold. A good name is almost like the expression of your identity. A good name is an expression of your core identity. So if your sociology is wrong, right, or you did not consider your environment and your sociological construct, it's impossible for you to achieve the goals. If you do not consider your physical construct, it will be impossible for you to achieve your goals. If you do not consider your soul construct, your mind, your psychology, right, your internal dynamics, it will be impossible for you to achieve the goal. If you do not consider your spiritual essence, right, it will be impossible for you to consistently achieve your goals, meaning that there must be an alignment between your spirit essence, your soul essence, your physical essence, and your sociological environmental essence. There must be an alignment, and all of that must culminate and align with your core identity. Once you are in that element of flow, then anything that you plug in, right, will flow. But once there's a lack of alignment, anything that you plug in will be at conflict and you will sabotage it, including your goals. So the very first thing is to look at the life, is to look at the essence of your existence, is to look at the dynamics of your total existence and to design it, to look at it holistically and to look at yourself holistically and to design it in a way that you are in a state of flow. Once you get into a state of flow, anything that you plug into that flow will be carried by that flow. What do I mean? So imagine, the ocean, right? The ocean has many tides and many waves. Okay. Anything that you throw onto the waves will be carried by the waves in the direction of where the waves are going. And that thing can never resist the direction and the flow of the wave, no matter how hard it tries. So there is a tide in the affairs of man, and it must be taken at its ebb. And the tide in the affairs of men, it's very, very critical for you to holistically look at your life and allow your life to find alignment and you to flow in the direction of that alignment. Never set a goal without considering your life holistically, without considering the essence for your existence, without identifying the core identity of your essence. Once you sort that out first, then everything that you do will fully align. And that is why we don't do goal setting or vision boarding. That is why we do life design. We have a life design workshop. It's often a 2-day workshop that helps you look at the entirety of your life holistically. And there are 12 dimensions of your life, and I'm going to mention just a few. your spiritual, emotional, mental, physical health and well being, your spirituality and your security, your finances, your career and your business, your self worth, your self esteem, and your self confidence, your purpose, your mission, and your passion in life. We also look at home and family. We also look at your intimate relationships or marriage. We look at your holistic achievements in life. We look at your contentment. We look at your fulfillment and satisfaction. So we look at the 12 critical areas of your life. We look at where you're coming from and where you're going. We look at how you approach life. Do you live life running a past program or a future program or a present program? Okay. Where do you live in time? In your mind. Do you live in time in the past driven by fear, driven by regrets, or driven by anxiety or trauma or shame or pain? All of these affect your sense of identity. We also look at whether you have a healthy self worth, self esteem, self confidence, because that is the secret cocktail that determines your success. We help you look at your spirit, your soul, your body, your sociological existence, your environment, using different tools like the neurological levels of change, using different tools like the triangle of alignment to help you align your goals with your core values and your belief system. So, look, our own life design workshop is completely different. We take it oftentimes between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 2 days. That's a whole, you know, um, that's a whole 10 hours. Obviously, there are different breaks in between. So it's 20 hours. That's day one and day two, where we help you look at your goals holistically. We help you look at your life holistically. We help you look at your identity holistically. We help you look at your essence and the dimensions of your existence holistically. And then we help you plot your goals for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And I want to invite you to register to attend that Life Design Masterclass. Honestly, the people that have attended it have attested to the fact that it has completely transformed and changed their lives. Don't be any different from the people that are supposed to attend. A regulated man outperforms a pressured man every time. That's right. Are you a regulated minded man, or are you a man that always yields to pressure? It is important that we recognize that it is our time to be anything that we want to be. You see, I have come to terms with the reality in life that, many goals collapse beneath the surface. Many goals collapse beneath the surface. When we talk about beneath the surface, what are we talking about? Outside the surface is what people see. Beneath the surface is where people do not see. And we're talking about the nervous system. And when the nervous system is overwhelmed, discipline collapses first, will collapses next, emotion gives way, and you begin to struggle. Consistency begins with calm, not by force. And so it is therefore very, very key for you to get it right. There are five invisible forces that work underneath that destroy goals that people set. When your identity is mismatched, when you are pursuing a future that your current identity cannot sustain, the mismatch of identity, when there is a lack of alignment in the whole dynamic and dimensions of your existence, oh, your goals will never, never, never survive. When you feel emotional exhaustion, when you burn out, because burnout makes consistency biologically difficult. When you have poor stress management skills, because stress narrows focus and kills long term thinking, and you need long term thinking for the long term game of goal setting and goal scoring. When you lack internal organization and internal structure, when your goals do not align with your core values and your belief system, when your spirit, your soul, your body, and your environment are not fully aligned. We're talking about structure, we're talking about systems, because goals without systems and structure, they collapse under unpredictability. And then isolation. Growth without accountability rarely lasts. And people that do not put accountability systems in place never sustain their goals during the most difficult times, even when you put everything else in place. You need someone to hold you accountable, someone that you honor, someone that you respect. That's why Bill Gates says that everybody needs a coach. And so, if you need a coach that will hold you accountable, if you need a coach that will sit with you to help you design your life, you want to reach out to me on my social media. You want to send me a message, an email, you want to send me a DM on my Instagram and say to me, I need you to coach me, because there are too many internal factors that you're not thinking about that would sabotage every goal that you set. All right. I mean, This this is deep, deep, deep. How do I do it? So I'm just going to use a few words: alignment, assignment, attention, focus, purpose, vision, discipline. Now, it's important that we recognize, right, three things: identity before behavior. So for me, everything must align with my purpose, everything must align with my identity, everything must align with my values and my beliefs. I don't set goals like people set goals, honestly. So, my only goal this year is to fully manifest as the Son of God. That's my only goal this year. Now, everything else will manifest once I manifest as the Son of God. So, I am focused on delivering that mandate that God has given me this year. So, before I set any goal any year, I go to God and say, why are you giving me life in 2026? What would you want me to do with every second of my breath? And he says to me, focus on manifesting as my son. And so if you go to my phone DP, you will see a picture, caricature picture of me, and under it, I've written the son of I am. Right, because I have seen it. I have visualized it. I have seen it. I have walked it. I have finished it. Just like God never starts anything that he hasn't finished. Just as Jesus finished everything and then he got us started. Oh my God. So I've plugged in to that dimension, and I plug in into that dimension every time. And my identity is number one. And what is my identity? The son of I am. So I put identity before behavior. A lot of people put behavior first. You must become the type of person who naturally lives that goal. So if I am that person, then naturally I will behave like that person and I will achieve the thing that that person achieves. So I don't put the achievement or the behavior before the person. So what I do is I become the person. I visualize, I meditate, I internally become the person. I finish it first. So all the work that I do is finishing it within, because as I am within, so am I without. It is what happens within me that manifests outside of me. And that is how it is for each and every one of us. So, identity before performance. A lot of people put performance first before identity. It is identity before behavior. A lot of people put behavior first before identity. I focus on identity. Second thing is systems before motivation. Oh, yes, systems and structure. They beat inspiration every time. So a lot of people are driven by motivation and inspiration. No, I put the right structure in place. I put the right systems in place, and I stay true and disciplined with the systems and the structure, whether it's internally in my psychology, whether it's in my spirit, whether it's in my environment. I put the right systems and structures in place. The third thing is emotional regulation, emotional intelligence before discipline. You see, calm nervous systems perform better than pressured ones. So my central nervous system, that's why you always see that I am calm under any circumstance. My emotional regulation and my nervous system has to be regulated all the time. There are no unresourceful people, there are only unresourceful states. So 85% of everything that you can ever achieve, 85% of success is determined by how emotionally intelligent you are. 85% of success in life is determined by your emotional regulation, your empathy, your emotional intelligence, your patience. So, emotional regulation is very, very key. I control my nervous system. I'm always calm and at peace. I am always resourceful. Because you see, when you step out there, reality of life changes the game. And it is how calm and resourceful you are that you are able to think and resolve the problems and solve the problems. So transformation happens internally first before it becomes visible externally. So I approach coaching and I teach people to approach coaching not from a place of force, but from a place of alignment. And, there are a few things. I say, sort out your identity first. Who must you become to sustain this goal? It is who you are that will sustain the goal. It is who you are that will achieve the goal. If who you are conflicts with the goal, you can never achieve that goal. You will sabotage it. And so sort out your identity first. Clarify your identity because who you are is who, will make that goal happen. Secondly, is define your meaningful why, not your ego, not your emotion, not external validation, real purpose. What is your why? Why do you want that goal? What is the why behind that goal? I say to people, the reason why you want what you want is the reason that will sustain you when pressure comes. The reason why you want what you want is the reason that will sustain you when pressure and stress comes. The reason why you want what you want is more important than what you want. So don't make it about your ego. Don't make it about external validation. Don't make it about comparison and competition with other people. Always set goals in line with the purpose of God for your life, in line with your authentic identity. Always ensure that there's alignment with your core values and your beliefs. If not, you will never, ever achieve that goal under any circumstance. The third one is you must design systems. It's not about wishing. You build systems and structures about daily routines. And then you create rhythms around your daily routine such that you get into a flow. So what are your daily check-ins? What are your weekly check-ins? What are your monthly check-ins? And what kind of environmental system, right? And rest system. Oh yes, and calming systems do you put in place? Very important. And then you have to plan. You have to plan for disruption. You have to plan that things will go wrong. Whoever fails to plan has planned to fail already. So life will disrupt you. Life will interrupt you. Prepare to adapt to disruptions. I sit down and I ask myself, what can stop me? And on the go, I'm constantly asking myself as I'm moving, what potentially can stop me? And I put in place adaptive strategies. I prepare scenarios ahead of time that if I go this way, this will happen. If this happens, what am I going to do? So that when I hit that brick wall, I already know what to do without wasting time. Now, when a lot of people hit that brick wall, that's when they begin to think, what am I going to do? But a lot of them can't think, what am I going to do? Because they will be feeling an emotion. It's either discouragement, a sense of failure. And once you allow those negative, limiting, disempowering emotions, you are not resourceful. When you are not resourceful, you can't strategize. I have already anticipated it. How will I feel when I hit this brick wall, and how will I bounce back? That is what they call emotional resilience, your bounce back ability. I have a very high bounce back ability. The next thing is, I track and I measure my energy, not my outcomes. Oh my God. Hmm. I maintain my energy. It is the way I wake up in the morning and the energy that I wake up with in the morning that I go to bed with at night. That is, I know how to maintain my energy. I track it, I measure it, and I maintain it because your energy is the key to your fulfillment of anything that you want to do. Once energy is depleted, no matter how powerful that goal is, but you cannot achieve it because exhaustion precedes failure. So I ensure that I manage my energy, and then I create accountability loops around myself. I create systems around myself that holds me accountable. I have become such a powerful accountability partner. And my part of my accountability is setting boundaries and putting boundaries in place. Part of my accountability is that I never put myself down. Part of my accountability to myself is I never see failure as failure. I see failure as feedback. And I will sit down and ask myself, what am I supposed to learn from this? If I'm going north and everything is pointing me east, I will pause and I'll ask, Lord, am I making a mistake going north? Because the Bible says that many are the plans of a man, but only God's purpose shall be fulfilled. So, like you use the GPS or your Google map, when you want to go in a certain direction and it begins to reroute you, it means that that's not the direction. And so, when situations and circumstances don't pan out in the way that I expected to pan out, or I plan for it to pan out, I accept that life is happening, or I accept that God is happening, or I accept that my strategy and my plan and my direction is wrong. I reroute instantly. And I constantly, finally review and recalibrate every day, every week, every month. Consistency is adjusted, not assumed. Oh my God. Once some people put some plans in place, they don't recalibrate, they don't re strategize, they don't replan, they don't reroute. Life in reality is never like that. A lot of people are one direction. I am never one direction. I can do this today now, tomorrow I don't. I'm not going to do it that way again. I am so ready to disrupt. I am a disruptor. I disrupt my own life, right? Even though I like structure, I like order, I'm a self disruptor. And so it's important for you to be able to review and recalibrate on a regular basis because consistency requires flexibility, dynamism, and adjustment. You cannot assume it. And so let me give you a few final tips on how, and I'll round up with that. Let me give a few final tips on how you can win and what winning looks like in 2026. Now, I'm speaking to someone right there. Success is not about never falling, never failing. It's about not staying down. So, guess what? You're going to fall, you're going to fail, but get up. The goal is not a perfect year. The goal is to become someone who can sustain growth. So, it's not about perfection, it's about growth, it's about progress because life is about progress and growth. So, I'm speaking to someone who likes perfection, who is expecting a perfect year. You can never attain perfection. You can never have a perfect year. But guess what? Right? You can progress and you can grow. Winning does not mean perfection. Winning means that you can recover faster from your setbacks. Winning means that you can stay aligned under pressure. Winning means that you can build systems that survive busy seasons. Winning means that you can grow steadily instead of collapsing dramatically. The real victory is becoming someone who can sustain growth. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they did not redesign who were becoming. This year does not need another resolution. This year needs identity alignment. This year needs emotional mastery. This year needs strategic structure. This year needs supportive accountability. That is the real conversation that we have had today. And that is why this conversation that we have had today really, really matters. Finally, goals don't fail. It is systems that fail. You do not lack discipline. You lack life design knowledge and skills. Pressure reveals your true self within. Right. When pressure reveals your true self within, take notes and ask yourself, is this the person that I'm aspiring to become? Is this the person that I truly am? Because pressure is a way that God reveals you to you in your current existence. Consistency is emotional before it becomes behavioral. Structure beats motivation every time. There are no unresourceful people, only unresourceful states. If this message has been of any benefit for you, like it, follow it, subscribe to it, and share it with everybody you know. Remember, the message is free. And this is the time that everybody that you know needs to hear this message. Contribute to somebody's success. Don't let them fall amongst the 92% that fail to achieve their goals year in, year out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you need to start 2026 with wisdom. So we have just posted our wisdom series where we broke down the book of Proverbs and we elicited life's principles and life's lessons from the wisest man in the world. You want to subscribe, you want to share it, you want to like it. Yeah. You want to follow also wisdom series. We also have the nice series. You want to watch all of those on my YouTube and listen to them on my podcast. Honestly, 2026 is truly your year of manifestation. On that note, we'll call it a wrap. Thank you for listening in. I am successful. I look for and find opportunities where others see nothing. I am a lifetime learner. I am solution focused. I see only solutions. I am a solution.